I'm joined now by wire artist Mandy Cook. Mandy, thank you so much for being here. I love your work. I want to know how you do it, but let's start with how you fell in love with art. Have you always been an artist?
I've always been drawn to more art and just more hands-on. I like to do physical things with my hands. Anytime I could take an art class in school, I would. So like anything from pottery to jewelry making, I was there. So it's something that developed over the years. Then it kind of dropped off a little bit as I, became more of an adult and had to work full time. And up until recently, I was a stay-at-home mom, so I had a little bit more free time on my hands to kind of get back into it.
So you make these beautiful wire trees, and I have no idea, A, how you do it, or B, what made you get started doing it. Tell me about that.
It's kind of funny. So last year, my husband and I welcomed our first child, and I wanted him to have something that was personal, and he could keep at his desk. That was a representation of our son. And I was like, well, we just made our own little branch of a family tree. Why not make a tree for him? Mm-hmm. So I used some crystals at that time, just little ones that were supposed to be alexandrite, that's his birthstone, and just started playing with it. I looked at videos online of like how to twist wire to make it look more like a tree branch, and more or less just taught myself then how to put it all together.
And now you also, in addition to the birthstones that are leaves, you often use gemstones as the base. So did that evolve, or was that part of the original idea as well?
That definitely evolved. I didn't know what to use as a base at first, so I just got this little, I don't even know what you would call it, I guess, like a stone disc. It was circular that I just kind of tried to attach to it, just to make sure that the tree had a base, essentially at that point. And then my sister-in-law saw it, and she was like, hey, can I have one of these with my birthstone? And I really love the color purple. And I was like, well, why don't we do amethyst and emerald? So that's kind of where it started to evolve and take off. And then people started contacting me about, hey, can I buy one too? I was like, you guys want to buy these from me? Like, you want what?
Any artist hears that and they're like, what? What I love about the gemstones that you use on the bottom is then you twist the wire to look like roots around it. Again, is this all you just were kind of playing and then realized that this was a beautiful aspect?
Essentially, yeah. I was like, well, I don't want them to just come down on the sides and just be straight. I want it to look like a tree.
Yeah.
That's the root of it. I don't know, the roots are actually kind of my favorite part to make because they're all so different.
Yeah.
And then, you stem up from there to the twisting and the turning of the base of the tree, and then you go to the branches, and each one of those I manipulate so that it's not straight. It's, got a little bit of a twist, a bend, something different.
So you said that you watched some videos about how to twist the wire. You make it sound very easy. It looks...
I feel like it's easy.
Really? Okay, so you know what? I think that maybe as an artist, that's how you know you found your thing, because it comes easily to you. Is it actually? Because when I look at it, I think, how in the world?
It's very time consuming, and I have broken a lot of stones, and I've snapped a lot of wires, just trial and error.
Yeah.
And I've got a little jar at home of my happy accidents where I have broken stones and they're too beautiful to throw away.
Yeah.
So I just keep them in there and keep collecting them, essentially.
So where do you get your materials? What kind of wire do you use? And was that something that you had to kind of experiment with?
Definitely had to experiment with the wire. I had to find a small enough gauge that would thread through the stones. Most of the stones I work with are smaller than my fingernail. So, I mean, they're very tiny.
Yeah.
And you need to find a small enough gauge, but also a strong enough one that it holds up the gems.
Right.
So that was a lot of trial and error for sure. And like I said, I broke a lot of stones and broke a lot of wires along the way.
Yeah. So do you still enjoy it as much as you did when you made that first one?
I definitely enjoy it. It's something that, like I said, I really enjoy using my hands and being active with that. And it is time consuming, but I just put on some music, usually when my son's napping, and just sit there and just go to work. And time will fly by. And it's something I do really enjoy. It's time consuming, it's tedious, but that's the kind of stuff that I really like, I guess.
So how time consuming is it? How, like, start to finish, how long does it generally take to do just one tree?
For a small one, it can take anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes, and I mean like a couple inches tall.
Right.
And then the bigger ones, they take an hour to an hour and a half, and that's not even measuring and the wire out or counting out the stones. I kind of do that beforehand, so I'm all prepped and ready to go. By the time he lays down for his nap, I can just get to work.
Tell me about the measuring. So how does that work? Is there, math behind it? I sure hope not.
Yeah, there is. I had to figure out how much wire I needed to make it long enough so that when you twist the wire, it starts to shorten.
Sure.
So when you twist it too much, you run out of space for the base of it. Yeah. So I had to kind of run through and figure out how much wire am I going to need per tree and how big is the base stone. So I've got a little chart at home of like the measurements in inches and how many stones it will take per tree to kind of make it work.
Wow.
Yeah.
How gratifying is it that you made something for your husband that was, personal and beautiful because of your family, and then people saw it and it took off? I can't imagine doing something so beautiful that, it just kind of explodes into a business.
It really did explode. One of my favorites was I made a whole family tree. So there's 5 children in the top of the tree, and then in the roots there are 3 grandbabies. And this was for a Mother's Day gift.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, this is gonna be amazing. And as a mom myself now, I can really appreciate something so personal as a gift. You've got all of your children there and all of your grandbabies in one little place.
Okay, so what happens when the grandbabies keep coming? Are you able to add to an existing piece, or once it's done, then we have to move on and create a whole new one?
I had to work with it a lot to figure out how to secure them to the bottom, because in the beginning I was using super glue because I didn't know, or hot glue even, because I was like, how am I supposed to get this thing to stay? But I wanted it to be more of a long-term piece. It's something that couldn't come apart. So I have a circle on the bottom of wire that I attach all the roots to, and I can unspin it, and then I can just take the root and unwrap it, put another gem on there, and then rewrap it. So
that is so. I'm thinking of all the people that I need to give one of these to. So what's next? Are you just trying to keep up now, kind of with the demand, or are you looking ahead to branch out? No pun intended.
It's funny, I actually call my husband my branch manager because he helps me.
There you go.
I like it as it is. Christmas was very overwhelming in the beginning, and it was crazy because it was just in September. A few months later, Christmas hits, and I was like, oh my gosh, you guys want to buy these from me? You want a piece of my art? What? So yeah, I do really like the way it is right now. I want to keep it simple and keep it fun and still enjoy it. As soon as I don't enjoy it, I feel like I won't want to do it anymore, and I don't want to get to that point.
Is there something else that you would even want to experiment with, or would that just have to kind of present itself like this did?
It'd probably have to present itself. I did make one pendant of a tree. It's on there. It's a flat tree that I've never done that before. I had to teach myself how to do that, and that was very daunting. But it turned out really cool. Like, I'm very jealous. I want one. I just haven't had time.
Okay, so tell me about doing commission work, because as you said, people now are coming to you and saying, I have 4 kids and these many grandbabies. And so do you love it a little less when it's not as personal?
No, I absolutely enjoy making something personal and unique to other people. Something that can bring them happiness.
Sure.
And it's just, I don't know, it's just something just for them.
We talked a little bit about logistics. You mentioned that it took a while to find the right kind of wire. Where do you get your materials?
A lot of it I get online as far as the stones. Most of them come from different places around the world, just depending on what you're looking for. A lot of times I do try and source locally, just like wires and stuff like that, or if there's a sale at Michael's or something, and I'm like, I need to get the gemstones.
Yeah. Stock up.
Oh, yeah.
What is the best part of creating your art?
Seeing people's faces when they actually receive it. And I got a video of the mom opening up her gift of all of her grandchildren, all of her children on that tree. And she was in tears, and then I started to cry because it's like that was just a beautiful moment.
Yes.
So-
See, my mom's gonna watch this. She's gonna want one, but there are a lot of us, so
Yeah.
that would be a big tree. What's the biggest one you've done?
I feel like the biggest one I did, I think it was a maple tree, and that was just like the tallest one. The largest I've done as far as a family tree, I think was 5 children and 3 grandchildren. So I don't know if I could squeeze on too many more, or might just fall over.
Yeah. How have you had to experiment with that? How big they can get?
Not necessarily right now. I haven't tried to figure out how big I can make one. It's more or less based on the base stones. Those can really start to go up in price as they get larger because you're talking about an actual piece of amethyst or quartz.
Yeah.
And so that can get pricey, and I'd like to keep it reasonable for people. I don't want to try and upsell or overcharge somebody.
Yeah.
I want them to have something beautiful at an affordable price.
Wow. I think that the fact that you've always loved working with your hands and then expanding your family just caused this ripple effect of becoming an artist.
Yeah, by accident. It really was. It
Yes.
just kind of like, I just fell into it, really.
It's so cool. I love your stuff.
Well, thank
That
you.
you can expect a phone call for a really large tree.
Well, you guys can be the first if I have to experiment and see how big it can be.
There you go. Because like I said, it's
30 pounds. Sorry, guys. It's very heavy.
It's the world's biggest paperweight. Anyway, Mandy, thank you so much. I hope that all of the serendipity just continues and
appreciate that.
you grow and thrive, and so does your family tree.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Arts in Focus on PBS Fort Wayne is funded in part by the Our Foundation and the Community Foundation of Greater Fort Wayne.